The Sensor Tower report is a scam. I would assume most people understand this, and like most people know it's like not proper data. But then when I make my videos and I joke about it, it seems like people actually believe this data as the truth, as this is how much this game is making, which clearly is not the truth. But let's watch this.
Most of the popular gacha games on the market nowadays don't have a PvP game mode, in a genre defined by the ability to pay for power.
Actually, most gachas have PvP. The mainstream gachas don't have PvP. There's a difference, but the majority of gacha games do have PvP, but yes.
It's a great way to keep most players from being alienated by whales. Luckily, for the parts of the community that do like PvP, there's another outlet for that. The Sensor Tower monthly rankings and report.
What is Nike? Shafted. We're not even here. Absolutely shafted. Love and Dispace. Bro, Love and Dispace is sweeping the floor with every gacha.
Measuring revenue and financial performance across a 30 or so day span, this report delivered at the start of each month always brings with it some of the spiciest conversations in the genre. Oftentimes, this data is just...
Okay, to be fair, these discussions are not even discussions. It's Reddit and Twitter. And it doesn't matter where you are on Reddit and Twitter. It's never going to be like a proper or healthy discussion or even a good discussion. It's always going to be people on the internet talking shit, right?
Fuel for the fire when it comes to a game's biggest haters. Since if the data from this website is showing that a game's revenue went down, that surely means it's reaching its end of
Who is dying? No cap. Quite sad, actually.
service, right? These numbers are oftentimes treated as gospel by many members of the community, and you can't blame them either.
Nigga, 14 million? It's completely fucking over. We are dying, guys. Jump the ship early. Migrate to another Coomer game.
Gacha players aren't known for their ability to read between the lines and critically think about information. A stack ranks a list of games with two numbers.
He's calling us stupid, but he has a point. So we will let it slide.
Is easy to digest and easy to talk to others about. But what if I told you that all of this data, that all of these people are using to draw these conclusions, is just completely made up? And the funny thing is, you can confirm that this data is complete fan fiction in as little as 3 minutes on the Gacha Revenue website itself, the original source of all these garbage reports. If there's one conclusion to come to after a surface level review of the data, it's clear that none of these numbers make any sense at all. And there are a lot of reasons for that. And today, we'll be taking the time to break down.
It's a pity. It's a pity because a lot of people don't read, right? Don't want to read, which is fine, If you didn't want to read, that's your problem. But the website could be so much better if it didn't focus on the bullshit around just the revenue. Because they have some really cool tools that most people don't even know, which is, for example, the graveyard. The charts to see also everything else. And not only that, but they also have a FAQ, which nobody talks about, right? Which is where he explains where this data is coming from, but nobody cares. Honestly, I wish he focused more on things like this, the graveyard, which is a lot more funny, rather than the revenue itself, because the revenue is like, yeah, it's nice to see it. It's a good meme, but the reality is that Chinese data, you don't have it. Android, iOS data, half of it is invented. PC sales, non-existent. Like, unless the company is public, which most of them are not, you don't know the data, but it is what it is.
What those reasons are. As always, if you're enjoying this content, please hit that like and subscribe button. The most significant disclaimer when it comes to Sensor Tower revenue is also one that is never made known on the monthly revenue reports. That disclaimer is that a majority of their revenue estimations are completely made up. Going on to the Gacha revenue.
Okay, it's not like 100% made up, like they use Sensor Tower, but then if you go to Sensor Tower's website and they also explain it to you, it's also kind of shady how Sensor Tower gets that revenue data. So it's not like even fully accurate from the Sensor Tower perspective, even though Sensor Tower only has Android and iOS. But if you go to their website and how they get that information, they will tell you that, it's a mix between the analyst and also some secrets that they have.
New website itself and searching up Wuthering Waves, specifically in CN, and then changing to Advanced View will show you that, wow, there isn't a single actual piece of data when it comes to Android revenue at all. Gacha revenue guesstimates off of Sensor Tower's numbers, or just makes up this entire column by multiplying the iOS numbers. When we take a look at the month of June, for example, $12.3 million in revenue, or 63.7% of the entire CN region, is completely made up. There's a reason why the Gacha Revenue website hides this information behind their convoluted interface, and
I mean, the AdSense must be sweet, considering how big this is, because this started just as some informative website before all of this. But considering how big it is nowadays and how much traffic they must be getting, I'm pretty sure they use AdSense, right? If we go here and we check what the technologies they're using, yeah, Google AdSense. Let me remove my ad block. Let me see. What is the ad? Where do they put ads in here? Sir, I want to see ads. Because if you're using AdSense but there is no ads in here, it's going to be weird. Ads mod check. They do use AdSense because it's here on Wapalizer. Unless they're hiding them somehow, which would be stupid. They are not actually here. So I'm not sure how they're showing them, or if it's on your phone only with the usual banner at the bottom. That could be the case. If they are using one of the banners at the bottom, most likely is that, because AdSense gives you the options to have a few different alternatives, and you can pick which ones you want to show. Copy. Let me check on the phone really quickly to see if we can catch some of the ads. Because if he's not even he's not even getting AdSense, and he's just spreading me misinformation, it would be funny as fuck. I don't even get ads on my phone. Is he just spreading misinformation for the love of spreading misinformation? That could be actually fucking goated. Just a little bit of trolling.
A tiny reason why the Gacha Revenue website hides this information behind their convoluted interface and a tiny, tiny little button. There's a reason why they never clarify that over 60% of the actual numbers have no factual basis unless you dig into their FAQ. This data is genuinely bad, and there would be far less people blindly trusting these reports if they knew how bad it
The problem is not people blindly trusting this website, is that most of the creators, when they are talking about the monthly revenue, they don't tell you this. And they will actually try to go and pose as fucking financial experts, telling you why specifically every single game is going up or down. And it's like, well, at least say that the fucking beginning that is just made up.
actually was. People on the internet are gullible. Hardly anybody takes the time to actually validate the information that they're looking at. And this Gacha Revenue website is built on a foundation of lying through omission by not disclosing any of these massive flaws directly to the viewer on the front page of the report. It's one of the most dishonest portrayals of performance possible, and it's a shame that a report like this that can't justify more than half of its data gets so much headspace across Gacha communities. This information alone might be enough to convince you that these reports are garbage. But what if I told you that its problems extend beyond that, to the point where weeks...
I know that outside of, not being super accurate, because they kind of invent this, I also know that Sensor Tower itself, the way they report data is not always accurate either. So they will change this in the middle of the month. There's a lot of times that we will come at the beginning of the month and it's going to be like 10 mil, and then you come later. For example, right now, see, Nika was 8 million when I made my video. Now it's 9. But if you come back next week, it might change again. Wait, you're not a financial expert? No. Every other content creator is not a financial expert, but I am one. You should trust me, not the other creators.
of data and sales don't even show up at all. We saw a prime example of this in Wuthering Waves with the release of Shorekeeper and the absurdly awful revenue numbers reported at the start.
Now, I'm gonna be honest with this one specifically, right? A lot of people also wanna pose as if Wuwa is making a lot more than what they really are making. We don't know how much they're making. It doesn't fucking matter. It shouldn't be a factor for you to play a game or not outside of the memes, right?
Start of October, which indicated that Wuthering Waves made only $6.5 million. Many believe that the first 2 days of Shorekeeper's banner were included in those totals, and the wave of doom posting and counter
Who is doing dying no cap? That's a lot of Wuthering in the waves, almost minus 50% 2 months in a row. And then some videos by other content creators, right, saying it's getting worse, Wuwa is dying.
doom posting dominated the community across the beginning of October. I was guilty of it myself.
Ooh, Wuwa sad September.
And then, lo and behold, less than a week later, these numbers spiked $5 million overnight to a total of $11.5 million. There's a simple explanation for this. It's a flaw in the data and how it's gathered. By taking a look at the Gacha Revenue FAQ, we'll find that the revenue numbers for the month can't be accurately reported until at least a few weeks into the following month. Similar.
But everyone likes to make the video on the first day. Actually, he updates on the first day because this could be offset. The website is dogshit to begin with, but this part could be offset if instead of updating on the first day of the month, you update in the middle of the month when the data, even though it's fake, at least is updated, right, for the last time. So that could be offset that way, but he doesn't even do that.
Similarly to the fictional CN Android revenue data, the viewer has to find out this information on their own and come to that conclusion themselves. Again, this is simply another example of this website and report lying through omission by not making this dynamic immediately clear to the viewer. How difficult would it be to add a small disclaimer to the top of all these reports and confirm that a majority of the CN data is completely made up and that monthly revenue numbers aren't even close to finalized until the 15th of the following month? Wouldn't players be able to make more accurate assumptions or conclusions about the performance of their games?
I mean, the performance of your game has nothing to do with the revenue itself, but I agree there should be a small disclaimer. I'm also curious because again, I cannot get ads neither on my phone nor on the PC right now. So if he's not running ads, even though he's using Google AdSense right now, right? He's using Google AdSense. I don't know where the fucking ads are because I cannot see them. If anyone knows, let me know if you're using PC or phone and you have gotten any ads here. Because if he's doing this and not even for ads, just for fucking trolling or for the sake of maybe he thought it was good data, even though the people have probably reached out to him, I don't know what his goal would be, but it would be pretty fun to see. I've seen no ads on either platform. I will double check later again. Maybe the website got demonetized for Google for sexual gratification.
If they had this full information, wouldn't it be better for the gacha community as a whole if they knew there's a giant asterisk?
It will be better for the gacha community to go back to what it was 5 years ago. New trailers, new game discussions, and that's like about it. But the genre has become a little bit more mainstream nowadays, so we are at the point of it's a dog shit community. The community, it's awful. It's really, 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 really fucking bad, which is a pity, but it happens with everything. We'll have to wait another 5 years until we reach the point where MMOs are right now, which is we hate all of the guys coming out, but at least we don't fight amongst ourselves anymore, right? That will be like the point in 5 years.
Reports, the fact of the matter is that these reports and this website thrive off misleading an audience. There would be far less trust, far less acknowledgement, and far less traffic to this website if they were upfront about the massive holes in their data and reporting. There's a reason why they hide all of the important disclaimers about their numbers deep in their FAQ, knowing that a vast majority of viewers will never actually look at it. There's a reason why this FAQ isn't front and center on their website, and there's a reason why you have to click into the questions to even find the answers. It's
yeah. I mean, it's pretty standard practice among every single website, but it's true that they are done that way for specific reasons, right? Which is for you to find it hard to find the information at the end of the day.
Because the person curating this data and running this website is find the answers. It's because the person curating this data and running this website is pretty much doing whatever the hell they feel like and painting whatever narratives they'd like. Expanding the question, Sensor Tower only reports iOS CN revenue. Where did you get Android data from? Gives you the answer of, I saw some other people.
This is true. This is pretty funny though, okay? This is pretty funny. Imagine a website with like millions of page views every single month, but no one comes here, right? Like literally no one comes here. So where did you get your Android data from, right? I've done some research, and most of the people that make revenue post videos multiply EOS revenue by 1.5, 2.5x to get the Android revenue. I'm using 175. Why not? Like, if you think about it, it's pretty fucking funny considering how many people come to this website and take it seriously, or how many creators will not tell you all of this, right? Because if you go to my videos on revenue, I always tell you, hey, this is just a reference. This is nothing but a reference. That's it. But a lot of creators will take this as like really how a gacha game is doing and why they're dying or not, which is always pretty funny.
Will make revenue posts by multiplying iOS numbers by 1.5 to 2.5. So I just went with 1 3/4. That is this data scientist's justification for millions of dollars in fabricated revenue data. They saw other people guesstimating between 150 to 250% and just went with 175 for fun. Who cares about citing your sources? Who cares about validating your data? Just throw a multiplier on it because you saw other people doing it. Reading this one answer alone should be enough to invalidate any conclusions you have from this report completely. If the creator of this website truly wanted to give an accurate overview of revenue performance without misleading the community, they wouldn't publish monthly reports on the 1st. They would acknowledge the faults in their data gathering and delay all monthly reports until the 15th to make time for accurate data.
That's what I was saying earlier. At least you can Again, it's only offsetting it a little bit because the data is still really fucking bad, but at least you can offset the other problem, which is when it's stabilized at the end of the month or in the middle instead of updating on the first day. Because you can make people can still make this content in the middle of the month or the first day, it doesn't fucking matter.
Data, but they don't. They would make it abundantly clear to anyone viewing their reports that a huge portion of their revenue data, over 60% of their CN numbers, is completely made up in one of the laziest calculations possible, instead of hiding the specifics behind multiple clicks and categories on their website. But they don't. They would put huge disclaimers at the beginning of their
no
reports.
one care anymore.
No, it's the same. It doesn't matter. Like, you can release this on the middle instead of on the first day. It's not going to affect the traffic itself because you're still hiding that this data is fake.
Indicating that there are massive flaws with its numbers and dissuade people from making hasty assumptions with bad data and minimize the negative backlash multiple games receive.
Wuthering Waves, your keeper will save the game, they said. Wu is dying,
At
no
the start of
cap.
every month, but they don't. The fact of the matter is that GachaRevenue.com is only taken seriously because people simply don't know how it works, and the website
No. People are stupid, right? Like our favorite Indian man says, the people are retarded. This is not a problem of people. This is a problem of content creators spreading this without telling you to. Because Gacha Gaming is Reddit. They are fucking retarded anyway. But the problem is content creators that are super big talking about this data, not telling you it's fake data, and then trying to pose as if they understand why the game is going up or down. That is a bigger problem, in my opinion, because they have a bigger reach than Gacha Gaming itself, most likely.
website's developer doesn't make it clear how to find out. Because once a person knows how these reports actually work, they'll naturally come to the conclusion that it's pretty much completely worthless and not worth analyzing at all. And that would be bad for business. To wrap it all up,
Okay, on that regard though, what is the business? I tried finding the ads. He's not running ads, even though he's using Google AdSense on his website. It's React, it's pretty easy to implement. There is no issue with that. I cannot find any type of ad. He has coffee on the bottom, which could be, no, but it's only 2 coffees. So it's not even, that's not, a way of monetizing it either. Where is he running the ads? Because if you're not running ads, you're not getting Patreons on coffee, which, by the way, guys, if you want to support the content, link for coffee on the description, all right? But if you're not running ads, you're not getting people on coffee, and he's not getting any monetary gain, is he just making a small joke? The website is too good. Sorry, there is a lot of effort in the website, not too good, in terms of the design, the functionality, and everything, for just to be like a small meme, small joke, right?
all I'll say is that these reports should be taken with the fattest grain of salt on earth. When the creator is making up over half their data and hiding the reason why, you know you're seeing the product of someone whose goal is to mislead people. Don't fall for the bait. As always, if you enjoyed this content, please hit that like and subscribe button. Peace out.
Really good video. Really good video. Now, it looks like he got baited himself, like you guys were saying. He got baited, and so he was trying to also bend now because of that. And still, it is true. I'm gonna try to reach out to the creator of the website to see if he's interested in coming into a call. That would be pretty fucking funny, just to talk with him for a little bit, see why he's making the website, if he has any bad intentions, or he's monetizing it, or that we cannot find him, or he's just, a website that people are just taking for a fucking gospel. Because a lot of people will take a website that could be a project, a passion project, and then take it as a gospel, which could be the case as well here. We don't know. So I'll try to ask him, right? I'll try to see if I can get in contact with him and see if we can get him in the stream for a quick call.
役立たずは楽園から追放するのみ。ブランとノワールのショータイムです。
天地万物を切るとはこういうことだ。